Can we talk about God? God, I think, is one of the most misunderstood concepts of all. Why? Because us as humans, this thing cannot understand the infinitude that is God. But maybe we're not meant to understand it. Maybe what we're meant to do is go through this entire cycle, or what we call life, and live it as if it was the only thing. Why? Because then we take it seriously. Maybe we're not meant to comprehend that there is an infinite source of creation behind all of what exists. Because if we knew that we were supported infinitely and with infinite love, then maybe we wouldn't take life, or this life, so seriously. When you feel pain, you think, how can something that loves me so much allow me to feel pain? The fact is that this is all experience. And what I really enjoy about studying the ancient spiritual scriptures, like the Tao Te Ching, or the Bhagavad Gita, or the Upanishads, is the fact that they all describe God as basically wanting to discover himself in a myriad different ways. And through his meditation, he brings everything, his or her meditation, he or she brings everything forth which we see exists. And so we are just part of a mental construct of an infinite being, which is pretty amazing. And when you look at it, in the Kybalion, or however way you want to say it, Kybalion, they say the universe is mental, in the sense where it's all a mental construct as well. And when you look at it, the energy that emanates from your thoughts, from your actions, reverberates infinitely. And that's what the Hindus call, karma. But to come back to the mentality, the mental aspect of this universe is so important to understand, because we are all part of a huge mental construct that allows us not only to experience this, to be the experiencer, but also to be the object of experience. And when you really think about it, you start to see that nothing has anything to do with what is, but it all has everything to do with how you see it. Because the way that you perceive the world is different than the way that I perceive the world. And that's what this is all about. And we have to go through a certain amount of pleasure and pain in order to, have the discernment to know, okay, this is good for me, this is bad for me. And for every single person, it's absolutely different. And that really cuts back to the fact that this entire thing, the entire universe, is just an infinitely big way of discovering yourself. And what we got wrong is that we put a name on something that is not nameable. That's why the Muslims are prohibited from trying to represent God, because he's not representable. And in all of the Upanishads, all of the Bhagavad Gita, it's mentioned. God is the one that helps us to hear, see, smell, taste, and feel, but cannot be either heard, seen, smelt, tasted, or felt. He is the one that pushes us forward. He or she, is the one that pushes us forward. But then is the silent observer from the darkness, from what we cannot perceive. However, there is a way to get back to him. Her. is by realizing that all of this is just a game. And then saying, well, I'm fed up with playing. And that, I think, is why there is so much suffering today, is because we have to go through the suffering to understand that the resolution of our suffering can never be found without. It can only ever be found within. And by making that journey within, you start to realize that you're fed up with playing this material game. And so that, for me, is why there is so much suffering, and why suffering is allowed to be. Well, suffering is also allowed to be because infinite love and infinite support also allows you to be supported infinitely in whatever choice you make. And most of our suffering is based on what choices we make. Even if you have been through some terrible trauma, you choose to maintain it in your head through your memories and linked emotions to that memory. But that's another subject. It is our choice to, at one point or another, make the journey within and start to realize that, in fact, we are it. Tat tavam asi. You are it. You are part of the infinite creation, which is God. It is not apart from you. It is not something else. It is not somebody else. It does not stop at the tip of your nose. It is within you, within every cell of your body, and within every cell of every living thing. Have fun.